about when you watch a rocket launch? For me, I think about the anticipation of the countdown, when it gets down to those final moments and the rocket slowly ascends through our atmosphere, leaving a fiery tear through the sky until all that is left of a rocket is a shiny dot, and I just sigh at the magnificence of human creation. Or maybe that's just me. But this is how rockets have been launched for 60 years now. Aren't there any other engines that might be more energy efficient or faster? Well, there is an engine that is used in space called the ion engine that sounds like it's from a sci-fi movie because it just uses xenon atoms to move through space. But first, let's take 5 steps back and learn about what an ion is. If we look at this helium atom here, it has an equal number of protons and electrons. The positive charge of the protons is cancelled out by the negative charge of the electrons. When an electron is added, the atom becomes a negative ion, and when an electron is removed, the atom becomes a positive ion. How does this apply to ion engines? First, an atom is released into the engine chamber. Then a very fast electron is released into the chamber at the atom. When the electron and the atom hit each other, an electron from the atom breaks off, and we're left with 2 electrons and 1 positive ion. Then the magnets on the engine attract the electrons and accelerate the positive ions out of the engine. Kinda like when you blow this balloon and you let go of it. The air rushes out and the balloon moves forward. And this is all thanks to Newton's third law. Newton's third law says that for every action there's an equal and opposite reaction. So if I threw an apple in outer space, I would be pushing the apple, but the apple would also be pushing on me. For the ion engine, when the ion leaves the engine really fast in one direction, the engine gets a teeny tiny push in the opposite direction. This force is very small. It's about the same amount of force that this paper is pushing down on my hand. So how is this engine effective? This engine can only be used in space, where there's no air, so there's no drag that would make the engine lose this precious energy. So as the engine runs and more ions are pushed out, the force that pushes the engine also increases. This engine was first used in the Dawn spacecraft, and it provided the spacecraft with an acceleration initially of 0.00092 meters per second squared. After a week, its acceleration was 55.6 meters per second squared, and then in a year, its acceleration was 2,898 meters per second squared, or 8.5 Mach, which is 8.5 times the speed of sound. It's just been 60 years in space, and with the Ion Engine X-3 that NASA is working on right now, we can go to the moon in just 30 minutes.